Morning Muttonistas, greetings from Peshawar, one of the oldest inhabited cities in the whole of southern Asia. This was the city I was looking forward to visiting most on my tour of Pakistan, so let's get cracking with today's vlog, a food tour with a bit of culture thrown in from Peshawar, Pakistan. So Muttonistas, this morning we are going to have breakfast, and we're going to have a very traditional breakfast of paye, which is goat's trotters. I've had them before on this trip, but I'm assured that the Peshawari ones are different and they suggested better, but let's see whether that's the case or whether it's local pride talking. I'm with Umar again, who is going to tell me what the name of the restaurant is and what exactly they specialise in.
This is one of the most oldest place for paye, the one you had in Lahore and now you'll have in Peshawar. So I'll show you around how they make it and how they prepare it, all that, with all their secret ingredients, with their ancestors going on, and they haven't left it. And this is almost a 5th or 4th generation shop.
That is very meaty.
Yeah. That's the delicious meat. The paye. The difference of spices. Let me show you the garlic first. That's your order going on.
Okay.
This is the paye.
Okay.
In traditional pot, so it gives more flavor and it is kept hot. For that, the meat cooked in pure oil. No preservatives and no additional flavors, etc. Real raw meat.
So why is the oil so red?
It's the most purest form of oil, and it's then some bone,
the bone marrow. Okay.
Yeah. The one we had in kebab yesterday.
And is there any tomato or paprika or?
No. And this is your pot ready.
Okay, that looks lovely. Let's go. Okay. Obviously, you can't have a dish like this without naan.
When I was kid, when I had to hide it, I thought it was spicy.
Yeah.
It is not spicy at all.
Okay.
It's just tasty. Not spicy than the one you tried in Lahore, and it's a bit different.
So there we are. Red because of the desi ghee and the spices. And I did notice that the brown bottom of the sauce looked a little buttery, so it's going to be quite rich, I think. So the bases are loaded with naan. Let's get stuck in. Let's grab a chunk of meat. Wow, look at how that just falls off the bone. I better get this in my mouth because of the juices dripping all over the place. Wow. That, viewers, I prefer, and I think you'd all prefer. It's less of that gelatinous trotter meat, and the meat is actually fleshy.
So that's why the meat is tendery meat, same like nihari. Because the same meat when you use in nihari is used in panchis too, in our Peshawar, with that jelliness and that meat.
And despite Umar saying it's not spicy, I could taste a bit there, I have to say. But as you know, Muttonistas, mutton likes a bit of spice. Time to try the bone marrow. Look at that thick red oil, wow. It goes without saying, as with most offal products, the marrow soaks up all of the juices and spices of the meat. And I repeat this again, I think this is a bit spicy. So you might say this looks like a bit of a cross between nihari and paye, but it actually isn't. It does have some of the same cut of meat as nihari, and it does make it a more meaty experience than the Lahori style paye. But anyway, let's get on to the gelatinous stuff. fatty and rich, not everybody's cup of tea, I know. So once it's infused in the sauce, magical things do happen to what might look like a lump of fat to you, but there is more to it than that. Anyway, I'm going to get on with this. This really is delicious, and it is the best paella I've ever had for sure. I know one can always say that about the last one you've had, but I have no doubts about this. Well, what a start that was. Obviously, I didn't eat it all and eat 4 naans because I wouldn't be eating again for hours if I were to do that. And I do want to bring you some other things. So let's move on and try our next breakfast dish. And I must add, and a lot of other people have said this in the past in Pakistan, and particularly in Peshawar, the culture of hospitality is very strong here. Another customer came up and offered to pay the bill, which we'd already paid, but that was really nice, really touching, and he wanted to welcome us warmly to his city. So anyway, this time we are moving on and we're going to have another breakfast item. I mean, look at that, you can still see the wooden beams if I zoom in. And round the back of these houses, you can see up there, there's a bridge. And that was built so that women could go and see each other without having to go outside, whilst the men would be downstairs conducting their business or fraternising out in the open air. So some of the buildings here were built by the Jewish community, which I don't think exists anymore, but they had a strong architectural influence here. So that's the main entrance and the archway, and if you look up there and look at the star in the middle, evidence of this area being inhabited by Jews in the past.
Basically, we have different varieties of chickpeas and beans. Basically, these are chickpeas made in oil and all that. Those are the red beans made in oil and that. Good for you. And those are the red beans made with water.
Okay.
So it is up to you which one you want to try.
I very fancy the chickpeas in oil.
That was probably too.
Okay.
That is not in water.
Maybe we get some of each then.
Jason, you like this red oil?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to? Oh. And what about black pepper on it? How much? So much. See? Black pepper, chutney vatti bhi paana. You can see the red bean.
Yeah.
Black pepper.
And there we are, folks.
There we are, folks. Red bean and chickpeas with some chilies on top and black pepper.
I'm going to show you how Umar actually eats it, because obviously I'm not good with my hands.
It's basically a rohni naan. We prepare in breakfast the rohni naan. We take a piece of this rohni naan and we do it like this.
Okay, well I've heard good things already about these chickpeas, so I'm going to dive in. Melt in the mouth, Stefan. The chickpeas are firm, but not overcooked. So I have to say, again, what makes the dish is the butter, the oil and the spices. Now, these are actually easier to pick up, and I don't need the spoon so much to cheat. Get a close-up. They're kidney beans, they're flavoursome, they're tasty, but for me, the winner is the channa or the chickpeas.
Because the people around here are near to the Kabul. Mostly the peas and the grains, they're all from the Kabul.
Yeah, right.
We eat the Kabul.
So this is Kabuli style channa, which is a bit chunkier, or the chickpeas are bigger. Well, it's mid-morning now and it's getting really rather busy around here. The streets are absolutely teeming with activity. It kind of shows that Saturday afternoon shopping is as popular here as it is anywhere. Oh wow, this is like an alley where people buy clothes. Well, I have to say, looking at all those fish, they must have some huge rivers around here if they're able to provide that many fish every day. So apparently the Peshawaris eat a lot of fish in winter because in summer it goes off pretty quickly, and it goes without saying that all parts of the animal are eaten here. I'm guessing those are goats or mutton, and this street is absolutely full of meat shops and a few vegetable shops as well. I'm guessing everything has to be seasonal here, and spice shops. Now here, they are making the minced meat for the kebabs. A little more modern around here, but this is the gold market, and jewellery in this part of the world is pretty important. Not that jewellery is something I'm particularly interested in, of course. In some Islamic countries, going into mosques is a bit of a no-no if you're not a Muslim, but here in Pakistan it is indeed possible, and Shahid has taken me to one which looked, from the photographs I saw on the internet, to be a particularly beautiful one. And to get in we need to take our shoes off. So even though it is being renovated and there's some scaffolding up in places, the architecture is quite stunning. And we're in the outer courtyard at the moment. I am guessing by the mats on the floor that when the weather's warmer people pray outdoors. This is fascinating to me. I've never been inside a mosque before. So here are the times of prayer every day, 6:30 in the morning. Well, okay, after that stroll around the old town, the mosque, the gold market, all the food stalls, the fish stalls, the meat and so on and so forth, time for another little snack. And now we have come to another little hole in the wall place making a special type of bread called milk culture. So this is milk culture, and the artisan kneads his bread. It's then rolled into shape, stacked on top of that wooden mat, would I call it, and then is placed in the tandoor, and the end result is the milk culture. So why is it called a milk culture?
Because they use milk when they're preparing this flour.
Ah, okay. One thing I would say is that being a butcher in Peshawar is a very safe trade to be in. They do love their meat here. And wow, he is so fast as well. So towards the end of the street, more food. There are a lot of chickens hanging. I can see some kebabs, chicken karai on the bone as always. And I think they are making chapli kebab over there. Yes, they are indeed. And what is the yellow stuff? Eggs, okay. What is that there? Spinach. Aha! Famous Kabuli pilau. Rice. And down there, is that chicken down there? Ah, it's mutton. Aha, I see. So the rice is obviously cooked in this big vat so that the flavours of the meat and the rice and whatever spices have gone in infuse nicely. It's lunchtime. We weren't going to stop here, but we've made an unscheduled stop because we were touring all the dishes, and I quite like the look of the spinach. And it just so happens, as you saw, they have one of the area's most famous dishes here, Kabuli pilau. So I'm quite keen to try that, having had biryani in Karachi to see what their local rice preparations are like. And ever the coward that I am, I've just gone for the traditional seating rather than the sit on the floor stuff. So here we have the Kabuli pilau, a mountain of rice, what looks like shredded carrots, dried fruit, and underneath we have the mutton. Pretty fatty cut of mutton. But what's always important in these dishes is the rice. We have here some spinach. First time I've had spinach in this part. I did have a palak paneer ages and ages ago, it seems like now in Karachi, and I think we have some bulgur wheat there. And of course the usual naan. So let's try the rice. Very aromatic, and the sultanas are a very prominent feature of the rice. Now, whether we eat the meat with this or not, I don't know, but I'm going to try a little piece of meat, cut a bit off. Meat is a lot better than it looks. Tender, but slightly fatty cut of mutton. Now, spinach. And there's nothing in this, of course. Back in the UK, the spinach dishes that you get tend to be spinach with meat, spinach with potatoes, spinach with paneer or something like that. This is just spinach. It's very mild, that is actually. Slightly spicy finish, you can taste the chilli, but the taste of the vegetable is very, very clear. Cooked in ghee, of course, like everything else, and a bit of garlic, and I think there's some sort of spicy pepper in there, not too much of it. And it's not actually that oily either, so very good. So, back to the rice, another piece of mutton. I'm going to try the bread out, but it all seems a little bit much, a bit heavy bread and rice. As always, fresh and tasty bread. So there we are, folks, Kabuli pilau and saag or spinach. We're going to get on with our lunch, and we'll see you right after this. So just to reiterate Muttonistas, in the south of Pakistan, Karachi, they specialise in biryani. That was beautiful, but that was spicy, if you remember, with the chicken and the rice at the bottom of the pot that was slightly infused with curry or whatever spices. This was cooked in a similar way, infused with the meaty flavours of the mutton in a big pot or a big vat. It's not spicy at all, and it actually originates in Afghanistan and is eaten throughout Central Asia and Iran. Later in the vlog, or in the next vlog, we'll be trying the Peshawari pilau, which is again different. But we'll get on with this enormous portion, which we probably won't finish, and see you afterwards. So it goes without saying, at the end of the meal, in this part of the world, it's always green tea. Now it's better for me because that milky tea really isn't my thing. But the green tea served black without sugar is really up my street. Okay, not any surprises as to how it looks, but I'll note that the teapot seems to be identical in every establishment where I take this. And the usual porcelain cup, they've filled it really high, so it's boiling my hand. But as always, very, very pleasant. Okay, time to walk off some of those excess calories again. And we're now at the Kabuli Gate, named after Kabul, because we are only 60 kilometers away from Kabul. And facing behind me, if one were to walk or take a car that far, you would arrive at the Pakistan-Afghanistan border. So we're going to have dried fruit koia, which is made of condensed milk, nuts and fruits, similar to the ingredients in a lot of Pakistani sweets. Just give you a close-up there. I believe it's a traditional local sweet. Don't know if I'll like it or not, but as always, we'll give it a try. Okay, so a little bonus dish has arrived. We have koia, and what do we have on the left?
Halwa.
It is a different type of halwa. And tell me, Shane, why is this halwa different?
This halwa is famous for Dei Khan, and this is the koia halwa, milk, spread with milk and some dry fruit.
Okay. Is the halwa, this is not, today this is not made of carrots, no?
Yes.
This is carrots?
No, this is not carrot.
What is it made of?
This is the Adwara Sunuli, yeah? Sujina? It's contain wheat.
Wheat.
They have
Wheat, milk and nuts.
different
Okay.
ingredients.
Okay, let's try the koia first. Okay, here we are, quick close-up. Wow, Of all the firm set Pakistani sweets, I think I like that the most. I have to say, it is quite sweet. It's not like having 10 cubes of sugar or anything, but the nutty and milky flavour really does make it a delicious treat. Okay, on to the halwa now. It does seem to me as if there are as many types of halwa as there are French cheeses. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but I keep bumping into different ones. Let's give this one a try. Pleasant, tasty, nutty, but this one is actually very sweet. Okay, with that dabble in the sweet department, we will take a little break for the afternoon, and we will see you later for more Pakistani and Peshawari specialities at dinner time. Be back in a few ticks.